Hey yo, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to everyone who, at this particular day, at this particular time, is searching for something to watch. Something related to Diablo 2 Resurrected walkthrough series, done by a casual player, done by in a friendly manner, done in a chilling manner, so to speak. Anyway, welcome to all of those of you who are willing to spend some time on this particular stream at this particular time. My name is Starlord, and today we are continuing our story of a Necromancer summoner on Hell difficulty. Yes, we are on Hell difficulty, and we are going to try to beat this difficulty today. Now, whether we are going to be successful or not, it just depends on some particular aspects. Regardless, we are going to get straight into the action in just a little bit. Nothing for this particular character was done off stream, so if you thinking like maybe he skipped that crystalline passage off stream because he had a lot of problems on the previous stream in that particular location with those lightning souls. No, I have not skipped it. No, I have not beaten it yet. So we are going to try and beat it today, and hopefully we are going to have less of a painful experience than it was previous time, because as it just so happens, but with those particular resistances, it's kind of hard to get bypass those lightning souls. It's kind of hard, but is it impossible? Like hell no. We're going to do it today on this stream. We're going to beat the Hell difficulty, we are going to rescue Anya, we are going to fight the Ancients, and we are going to slay Baal, and then we are going to do some farming, because this game is also about farming, and I want to see how well this character performs in the cow level. It's not like my paladin cannot perform there well, but yeah. Also, yeah, I have been trying to get Enigma. I've been excessively farming on Paladin, and I still have not found the last rune that I needed. Yeah, unfortunately. Still no Enigma. Still going to keep bitching about the fact that Necromancer Summoner is annoying if you do not have Enigma, but hey, that's just how it goes. But anyway, enjoy the stream. Enjoy the commentary, and let us jump straight into the action. Into the crystalline passage. In the frozen river, hopefully there won't going to be any lightning souls. And I'm seriously thinking at this point that I should put at least like 1 point into bone armor. Because there is no way right now that I'm going to get my resistances with the current build that I'm going with, and I don't necessarily want to invest that much points into this revive thing, because from what I understand, like you just like if there is no way for you, like you don't have that Enigma, yes, I'm going to keep mentioning that stupid rumor because it's just so important, but if you do not have it, there's just going to be this one particular problem that is related to the fact that your army keeps disappearing after 1 or 2 seconds, which is annoying in my personal opinion, but which is something you absolutely have no control of if you do not have that. If you do not have that stupid reward. As long as there aren't going to be lightning spirits, I am going to be okay for the most parts. Hopefully, but it's still under the question mark. No, not those spirits. Those spirits are just immune to physical. Oh wait, they're immune to physical. Oh wait, that's bad. Oh wait, then let's go the other way.
I can't use this yet.
Nobody's. Nobody's. Not where I need to go. Well, where I need to go, but not where I need to go. Not exactly where I need to go. Anyway. Ghosts. Those ghosts. I need to keep exploding their corpses. Otherwise, there's just not going to be a chance for me in dealing with them properly. There's still not that many problems awaiting me here. Saigon. Saigon shield, yes. As if I haven't seen that one in a while. Ah, actually, take a look at this. See that thing? The ghosts, when you revive them, they don't have that glowing blue aura thing. So they're like flying skeletons. Well, some of them have, some of them for some reason don't. I find it interesting. I'm going to take a slower approach today because I don't have to finish that much stuff. Here. There is just a couple of locations left, so maybe if I take it slower, it's going to be less of a pain, maybe. But then again, it's still a big question whether or not I'm correct in that assumption. I think no, because lightning spirits are still going to be ass. And I didn't need to go here. And I need to get this way. One thing that is going to be really important is to not die. Because if I die, retrieving back the corpse is nearly impossible. Especially if there are lightning souls, which are very, very damage-heavy oriented enemies, which are absolutely abysmal to deal with. Because they pierce through your army. They hit you first. I find it a little bit annoying also when you are teleporting around. The thing that happens is that, well, enemies are focusing you first. Not your pads, not anything. They want you and only you they want. They don't care about anything else in this world. That stands in their way is just so useless. Also another reason why you normally don't, well, as a Necro Summoner, you want to farm the Countess Tower, and it is entirely related to the fact that there is just a lot of ghosts and a lot of archers and narrow spaces, and because of that it's nearly impossible to maneuver around, and because of that your experience turns into a complete tragedy. Frozen River. And I hope I don't see ghosts. I see zombies. Those aren't zombies, those are skeletons. Maybe I'm going to be lucky. Just gonna quickly explode them. And the reason why I'm doing this, instead of, like, I can either resummon them or just explode them. The reason why I go with exploding them is because of the fact that they revive. I don't want to deal with the fact that they can revive. That's why I'm just going to be reviving them myself. Let them fight for me, and hopefully after that they won't be able to turn against me. I swear to God, finding Enigma in this game is such a painful catastrophe, because it's like, oh, don't farm for something specific, they usually say, because if you farm for something specific, it will going to turn into a complete painful experience for you, because, well, target farming in this game is not something that exists because of the fact that, well, everything is random wall drop. So this is why target farming is a complete nonsense, and it doesn't really help you. So instead of like target farming, you should not be target farming for something specific. But man, I 100% know that I need Enigma, and then I don't get it. I was farming target farming Shaco as well, and I got Shaco. And now I want Enigma. That's the only thing that I need. Give me that stupid Jarun. And it's like, yeah, I can buy it for... how much it was? 16 or 17 East runes? The only problem is I don't have that many East runes to begin with. Also, I don't really think that having those harpies revived is actually a good thing, because from what I can see is that they are applying curse, which overrides my curse, which is awful. I don't want him to override anything. The truth of the matter is... hey, we don't have those spirits anymore. Those stupid lightning spirits aren't going to cause me problems. That's so good. That's so good. No more of these. Just quickly going to revive. It doesn't matter whom I revive. At this point. Well, no, it does, but it doesn't. It does, but it doesn't. And then hopefully when I'm going to be fighting against Ancients, they aren't going to be enchanted with what was it? Iron skin that made me fall asleep when I was fighting them on Nightmare difficulty. At this point I can summon 23 revived monsters. I really don't think that I need more right now, so I can put at least 1 point into Bone Spirit. Bone armor. Spear. I refuse to put anything into Bone Spear. That's just, in my opinion, an absolute waste of time. First of all, because a summoner does not have and does not put points into doesn't put points into how is it called? FCR. So he doesn't really need that. Well, maybe you can go with poison. Maybe. Then again, maybe you need more. No, I'm absolutely well aware of the fact that you need more to make it work. Where is Anya? Oh, I'm going to the right place. Sweet.
I can't use this yet.
Revive, Rise. Rise and fight for me and not for that whomever you're fighting for. Bale, Schmail, whatever. Then I explode everything. My brother was rolling for a skiller for his sorceress. But what ended up happening is that we were rolling on the same like charm to get that skiller that we wanted, that he wanted. Instead, because I was playing as a paladin and I was rolling for the rolling that charm, what ended up happening, I got another skiller for my paladin. Dude. Skillers for paladins are a very good thing to have. She opens up a portal, but this portal is not for me.
Thank you so much for bringing Anya.
Yeah, me ranting excessively about this character on the last stream was something that made myself laugh afterwards as well. Well, I mean, definitely. There is just this one problem that this character definitely, like, this build definitely is something that can be re-evaluated once, and will be re-evaluated once Enigma is going to take place. Because until that time, well, can't really do much about it. It's just how things are. Nice standing there. He just literally stands there. I myself personally am also against the archetype of pure summoner, especially in this particular game, because it's kind of hard to make it happen in the way that one would want to make it happen, due to some of the limitations that are present in this game. And yeah, personally, I do agree that if, like, the choice is made between what to end up taking as another form of damage to this type of build, then I would say that sticking with Poison Nova instead of a Bone Spear is a better option. Better option in form of the fact that for Bone Spear you need that FCR, because like, on Poison Nova it doesn't matter that much how much FCR you have, because you just use it and poison stuff over time. Like you don't need to recast it multiple times for it to do what it's supposed to be doing. Versus for the Bone Spear, you kind of need to recast it in order for it
I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet.
to do more damage. You need to cast it more. That is where FCR comes into play. And yes, of course, the pet attack command is something that's... Well, I don't know, like, after Grim Dawn, where pet attack commands is a thing, I think that's... in action RPG games, like, you cannot... you simply... can't play as effective as you could have played. Like, with or without it, it makes a difference. It makes a whole lot of difference. Yeah, for the returning players who have played various action RPGs already, the biggest problem of going back into this game will going to be absolutely going to be the fact that you just have to deal with the fact that there are going to be many limitations that will ruin your experience for you. Let's just put it this way. It's like going back to the roots, and from the nostalgia perspective, it is good, but other perspective, it's not as good, definitely. It's interesting to see from where it all started, but it's also a good point, a good thing that other games actually evolved that system. That system that definitely needed an improvement. And thank God that they actually improved it. Where exactly the exit is, and it's not here. Last time around I found it very fast. Now it's like, where is it? It's somewhere nearby. I cannot find it. Somewhere here? No. I even found a chest. It was definitely not something I was looking for. But I mean, since this is the hell difficulty, where some good equipment is going to be dropping, that's also fine. Completely forgot that we need to refine this thing so that I can move around faster. Oh, there it is. Wonderful.
I can't do that here.
Decent. Though not the best, but decent.
Afternoon.
Open up a waypoint just in case.
I can't use this yet.
Magic resistance, not magic resistance. It doesn't. For this class, it doesn't really matter. Because corpse explosion is still a thing. Poison is not really going to kill you. The poison actually leaves you just with 1 HP till it runs off. I mean, there is also the problem that on 1 HP, nearly anything can kill you. So it's only like half good, half bad. Actually, I need to remove that. There's a lot of poison stuff, poison enemies.
Hello.
Nearly everything lies poison. My view of the console interface is that I wish they would have given it to the
Thanks.
players on the keyboard and mouse, and I've been saying this. I've been mentioning this particular line of information many times. I don't really understand what was the reason of them not allowing, not like at least giving the option in the menu to for every type of player to be able to use it. Because like if it would have been a thing, and that's a like if I play on the keyboard, I can use the same interface, but without without being limited to the fact that like I don't have the same amount of speed and control that I have on when I play on the keyboard and mouse, for example. And I'm also kind of struggling with the fact that auto-targeting system exists, which, yes, it is annoying, the fact that it's always going to target stuff that is closer to you. Even if you don't want that thing to be targeted, it will still going to be targeted for you. It's very frustrating, and for some type of builds, this can be a very troublesome issue, because you will be
Yes, warrior.
like, you will have no control over which target you choose. Instead, you have to pray for that targeting system to choose that specific target for you, and in order to do that, you have to like get very close to the target you wish to be targeted. Which for caster builds, that's even worse. For melee builds, maybe not so much, but for caster builds, that's annoying. That's simply annoying. There is like nearly no chance of something called like sniping a target from specific distance if you're using a gamepad, or if you're playing on a console. That's next to impossible. That is why I really think that they should have added the possibility or the ability for keyboard users to just simply be able to choose whatever interface they want.
I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet.
Yes, I actually am hoping for those updates, quality of life changes, whatever changes.
Evening.
Plus, I mean, it will help pretty much all of the builds to be able to use multiple abilities without switching between them, like only having the ability to choose two, having the ability to bind various abilities, but having no way to use more than two abilities at the same time. On the console interface, say I play with a paladin, I can always keep my aura active. I can pretty much do that while I'm teleporting around, while I'm using the shield charge, while I'm doing pretty much the stuff that I am supposed to do, but I'm doing this at the same time while I'm also utilizing all of the other possibilities. Like, I'm not limited to having to choose, like, do I use the teleport? But if I use the teleport, I have to switch. I have to turn off the aura, then I have to go to it again, and do this again. I mean, yes, they were shooting for this some sort of authentic experience that I kinda understand, but at the same time, some other things still keep bothering me. Why are they the way they are? Snakes, if they use their poison effect, that's... First of all, They pretty much one-shot my mercenary.
How may I be of help?
Second of all, even my skeletons starting to decay
Yes,
very
warrior.
fast. And I somehow ran out of gold. Yes, sweet. So yeah, long story short, console interface is great. If it was on the... if it was also available on the keyboard and mouse.
I can't use this yet.
Because then people would have been able to pretty much realize its full potential without being restricted on some of its features, or the way how some of its features are working if you are using that interface with a gamepad and not your keyboard.
I can't use this yet. You are a sad little man.
Wait, corpses continued to explode. Okay. Fine, fine. Well, I mean, I have completed that quest. So I can just re-log back into the game. That was actually weird. The fact that the corpses continued to explode even though I killed him, and there was actually no enemies that could have used that
Good
thing.
afternoon.
Corpse explosion. Strange things, indeed. I was not expecting this, hence this is why I was standing there and waiting. Maybe I don't understand something, maybe those corpses will going to keep exploding after you kill Neil attack, but I don't really think that that was the case. The more you play, the more you know.
Can I help you? Not in town.
You have stopped. Yes?
Other personalize. I'll let it be this. That was incredibly strange. Okay, I wanted to grab myself this thing just so that it will going to sit somewhere there. Wait, not Not on this one. On this one. Just a little bit more overall HP in form of this shield that can absorb some damage. Just raise some skeletons and then go back straight into where I need to go. That's everything. Everything and anything that I need. Although now I need to find that place where I need to go to again. I got my army back. Just need to use the teleport staff and find where I need to go. Here. Frozen River, that's also not the place. There is also this teleport staff, a green teleport staff, I believe, that has 70 charges. I only saw it in the video. One person was using it. Wait, that's actually not the place. So I was going to the right one. Glacial Trial. Okay. But anyway, basically that staff had like 70 charges. I mean, whatever teleport staff you're utilizing, it's just that substitute for the Enigma. And pretty much you use it till you can wear the Enigma, or till you actually get the Enigma, because Enigma on top of those stats that it gives you is a very a solid movement. Actually, and probably one and only Rune Lord with the movement ability that matters on pretty much all of the builds. Hence, this is why pretty much everyone, besides sorcerers, would want to have it. It's just so strange that they've actually... that it was like this, where the entire value of the build is going to change just when you will going to get yourself that one Rune Lord, and then you can reevaluate pretty much all of your builds once again. Because now you have that one specific Rune Lord that matters the most. It's like, yes, Shaco matters a lot because that's probably one of the best Magic Find helmet that has also incredible stats on it, besides just giving you Magic Find parameter that you would want to have. And then comes Enigma with incredible stats as well. And with the teleport ability. And yes, I've seen that some people actually mention the fact that, well, many players don't evaluate other stats that Enigma can provide you with. They're just looking at the fact that, oh, it gives you the teleport, and that's it. But it also gives like +2 skills, it also gives nearly 70 strength, which can later on be used on like that extra strength points that you can get from the Rune Lord can be used on pretty much your vitality, or if you're pushing for that 75% block chance, you can also use it there. And it's also a really valuable thing because you have more options to distribute your stats. Yeah, I do agree with that. Like it has many more layers of value. But for many, it's just the fact that, oh, it has the best movement ability in the game that everyone wants. Fine, then it's the only item that I pretty much need. I don't need anything else. I just need that thing, and it's over. But it's incredibly expensive. personally farming Chaos Sanctuary and cow levels on the Paladin. Just to try and get it. Maybe it drops, maybe it doesn't. If it drops, it's going to be really good. If it doesn't drop, then better luck next time. That's the only thing I can say about that. Yeah, we're only lacking one of them, which is Diablo. I found Bear Room long time ago. Again, when I was farming those cow levels, I was lucky enough to get one. What was the most fun part about getting it? I was farming, I knew that I needed Shackle, that I wanted to get a Shackle, and then I was like, oh, I didn't get the Shackle, but I was not, at that time I was not even paying attention to the fact that, what sort of stuff do you need to get for getting yourself an Enigma. And as this room dropped, I didn't pay that much attention to the fact that it dropped. Oh, it's not the thing that I was looking for, so I was like, well, okay. What I also know is that some people are searching for those assault ruins, which can turn your items into indestructible. But I think that's more about already when you are at this searching for something like assault rune. I think that's the time when you are already at the point where you are just min-maxing to get the most absolute amount of value from your end game gear. That's if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't really seen what sort of room wards can you make using software. Haven't really checked that information out. So many range enemies, that's something that only works in my favor. Because those range enemies are not going to prevent my melee enemies from getting to the desired targets, and at the same time they're going to be able to attack things. Even if they are standing far away, or even if they can't really get close to them. For me, as a person who is not that much interested in the end game of this game, I find it okay that I am lacking some of the endgame stuff when it comes to equipment. That I still do not own more the rewards. Oh well, besides Enigma and a Shaco, because those can be used pretty much anything and everything. Because what I like about Diablo 2 is that it kind of has everything for everyone, so to speak. You can have your replayability in form of creating more and more new characters, and it doesn't take that much time to get through the game several times, more than several times. Playing with different builds. It's the kind of game that you are playing for fun most of the time. Wow, among this madness I can't even see where my minions were, the enemy minions. There's just way too much stuff happening. And somehow I missed the waypoint.
Evening.
Necromancer skills. Okay. I'm gonna put it somewhere here. Waypoint hunting is definitely not something you should be bothering with, but I personally like to open as many waypoints as I can, just for the sake of it. It doesn't have any practical uses, unless it's a... Wait, I missed one. There are some waypoints that do matter, such as the one that leads you to the Bale's throne room, or to some other places where you would want to farm. Most of them don't matter that much, like most of the other waypoints. It's like some of them matters, some of them don't. And if you missed some less important ones, then it's fine. interesting part about all of this, like, find everything, do everything, it's not even related to the fact that the person is a perfectionist and he just wants so that everything is going to be completed. I don't know, it's something that you already do subconsciously. You don't even pay attention to the fact that you're doing it. Because I know that a lot of people, they want to skip stuff, they want to rush as fast as possible, skipping quests and skipping waypoints, skipping entire locations if possible. While some other people prefer to take it slow, clear everything, do every single quest. So I have already kind of expressed my opinion about the quest parts and my thought about quests in this game. I know that majority of quests in this game are going to have rewards that are, well, they aren't really good, to put it simple. However, I personally, as I've played this game a long time ago, and as I'm playing this game now, I'm not going to skip a single quest. That's just the way. It's just the way I like to do it. Yes, the reward is not going to be good. Yes, the item that I will going to get is probably not going to be as useful, but I'm still going to do it because, first of all, it definitely doesn't take a lot of time. Second of all, I just like to do it. And I have no problems to do it like 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, as many times as possible. I've been thinking about the fact that they might have added something, I don't know, like achievement system, just for the sake of it. Because some old games that are being visually remastered nowadays also have this achievement system. And although it doesn't do much, it's just for a player's sake. But I think that will be something that add more reason to those of us who like to collect a lot of items, like open those waypoints, do all the quests, all that sort of stuff.
Thanks.
Getting every character to level 99 would be a very hard thing to pull off. Unless you absolutely love something, something like doing 8-man Hellbale runs all day, every day. Or you are playing it in an offline mode and you can set the player's 8 difficulty or something like that. Going to go and grab myself more skeletons so that I can have more guys to help me out with ancients.
I can't use this yet.
One more skeleton mage, and I guess a couple of revived monsters. He's going to be good enough.
I can't use this yet.
One revived.
The resting place of the ancients.
Oh, don't go after me. Oh, they don't have stone skin now. Ow. They have lightning. I had stone skin on the previous, on the previous difficulty, and I was wondering, why did it took so much time? But stop jumping it. Look at this guy. He's like, now I'm going to stop ignoring your paths. This whole fight seems a little bit strange. First of all, Talik used initially 2 or 3 whirlwinds, and then he just ran away. He just ran away from the fray, somewhere to the left, somewhere here, and then he was just standing there.
I can't use this yet.
While 4 or 5 skeletons were kind of beating him down. And then the rest of the squad was over here fighting. Then the guy who was jumping forgot how the whole aggro system works in this game and started jumping on me instead of jumping on my enemies, on my skeletons. But generally speaking, the most important part here is that it feels like it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter what, but melee skeletons don't tend to die against those bosses. They just don't. And once again, only one skeletal mage died. The rest, as they were alive, as they are alive. In the end, it just doesn't matter. Because one thing that is for sure, like even though Necromancer's pets may not do like as much damage as, say, for example, other classes can do, one thing that he exceeds in is his pets are very tanky. Those skeletons are very tanky. Skeletal warriors, I mean, not the skeletal mages. They're even more tankier than the mercenary. And you can resummon them if you have corpses, that is. But yes, that set of ancients was pretty much in my favor. There was nothing bad about it. Well, except the chain lightning thing, but that's something that hurts me only because I have lackluster resistances. But anyway, good things and pretty well.
I can't use this yet.
Oh, also another thing why this place is good for Necromancer. Even if you get unlucky and you get yourself lost dolls, they won't going to matter because your army is going to tank them pretty efficiently.
I can't use this yet.
Which I cannot say the same thing about those spirits with chain lightning effects, because those guys are extremely powerful, and the fact that their attacks can bypass through your skeletons and hit you as well, that's more than annoying.
I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet.
I pretty much always have seen, when I've started to watch some of those guides for various classes, they've been saying that, well, if you see those types of enemies, lost dolls and lightning spirits, you just kind of exit and start again until you will going to get the map where there aren't going to be those enemies. Well, this is one of those instances where they did appear. And now my only hope is to either not to get one-shotted by them or to find a waypoint and then restart from the start. Hopefully I will going to be lucky. They will not going to completely destroy me. Because they also like to shoot off-screen, somewhere off-screen, from where you can't even see. You only notice their presence when a good chunk of lightning projectiles are flying right in your face, and then you're dead. Oh. On the place where I need to go. Now the search for the waypoint begins. Actually, the poison ran off quite fast, so I have to go back to town and remove it. Black souls. I think it was a good decision to invest at least 1 point into bone armor. And just for the sake of it. It may be not that much. It may not give as much compared to if you seriously invest into this particular spell, but it's still good to have at least something. Especially if your resistances are as bad as mine. Can resummon them? Can I resummon them? I will resummon some skeletons. Fine. If not one, then another. Oh wait, I didn't even need to go here. The waypoint was over there at the top. Nice.
The ancient.
Interesting part about me fighting against all those bosses, well, it is recommended to go and grab yourself some of those blunderbusses from Act 2, from the palace. However, I haven't done that. Not once. All of those bosses that I have been fighting against, I've been taking them out without using those type of creatures. And I know that If you're using Blunderbuss, it's easier because they have this ability to do the percent-based damage, and that it speeds the process of killing those types of enemies by a whole lot.
I can't use this yet.
But I have also expressed why I haven't been doing that. Because in order to do that efficiently, you need to have Enigma. You need to... because it's going to be extremely hard to get them from point A to point B fast and in a way so that they will not going to disappear while you are trying to get them to the desired place.
I can't use this yet.
This is why using a way less time-efficient strategy, which is to use whatever I can get my hands on when it comes to that stockpile of enemies that I'm using. Basically, whatever I end up finding on the map that I am on is going to be the army that I'm going to be using to fight those bosses and to fight those enemies. This map also rolled with semi-decent enemies for this build. With the exception of specters, which are resistant to the physical attacks. Everything else seems to be not so powerful. And definitely doable. Normally those death lords can pummel both the player and his mercenary into the ground very fast. However, because those skeleton warriors are very, very tanky, they don't even feel the damage that is going to those death lords. They just don't. They're there, standing among those enemies, taking hits all day, every day, and they don't even care. Which is the reason why I have said that those skeletons are very good at tanking, and now I sort of seem to understand more and more what exactly makes skeleton, summoner Necromancer to be the kind of a character that you would want to invite into those multiplayer runs. Well, that is, if he has items. His skeletal warriors are just very tanky. Can we kill things that are to the left? that I can start reviving everything. I'm 2 levels down. I need level 80 to get myself Arachnid Smash, more slow effects, so that I will be able to slow enemies even more, even harder. Yes, also continuing on the thread of console interface experience, besides Corpse Explosion, there is this one particular thing which sometimes happens with Monster's Revive ability, which prevents you from reviving stuff. What the game does, because it targets whatever and whenever it wants, what ends up happening in the end is that you want to revive, you are pressing on that revive and you see that you can, say for example, revive, but because the game sort of auto-focuses on the targets that are still alive, you cannot do that. The game simply just doesn't allow you to revive things. And instead of reviving, you're just pressing on the button that doesn't do anything. Wow, he clears that so fast. And the Corpse Explosion is doing wonders here. Because you anyway are going to have corpses here from the previous packs, and the next pack is going to be obliterated. Wave 5. Well, that final wave generally cannot be revived. They are considered just like how do you even call that? Sometimes you cannot revive champion enemies. And they leave monster. You cannot revive them as well. Time to slowly kill him. As if really slow. Those types of rewards, like socketing an item, and sometimes Charsy's rewards, I just leave them for for the next, like for the time when I need to socket an item. If I find, say for example, like this shackle, usually it comes, not usually, when you are dropping it, when it drops, it comes without a socket. And normally you want to have a socket on it. No, don't focus me.
Thanks.
Oh, they're going ham on those spells. How about I stand behind this pillar? I still can apply curses. They're sort of spreading their damage between targets. Not the greatest thing. Don't focus me. I have a lot of rejuvenation potions, so I don't even care as much. Finally, now they can hammer on the one and only target that matters. No, two of my skeletal warrior died. No. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. Next time, if I'm going to go and farm him, I will going to bring a bigger army. And this one I had. This one I also had. This one I didn't have. And this is going to be useful for me because my fire resistances are pretty lackluster. Yeah, that's already a second unique faucet that I had. Second unique jewel. I believe one was for... I don't remember for what it was. This one is for fire. So it's a nice addition. But anyway. It's the end for Bale on Hell difficulty. It took some time, but it was definitely not impossible. It all comes down to the fact that those unique jewels are just in general, their drop rate is very low. For the amount that me and my brother have played, I personally was able to find, like, this is literally like the second one, the second unique jewel that I managed to collect. And then I've collected like six yellow ones. Most of the time, the only thing that drops are like of those jewels are just blue jewels. They are extremely rare for whatever reason. Their stats are nice though. Plus they are giving some kind of a unique effect to the person who is using them. Okay, now it's time to go and see how the cow level is going to be like.
I can't use this yet. I can't use this yet.
It should be just as easy as it was in Nightmare difficulty, because for the most part, what I will going to end up doing there is just summon a whole bunch, resummon a whole bunch of cows, and then destroy everything with corpse explosion. They got no resistances against it, so it's very good. Okay, I'm gonna leave some corpses in case if I'm going to need them. On the plus side, I won't need to bug my mercenary. On the minus side, I won't be getting to the cow level as fast as, say, sorceress can or a paladin can. I'm still to this day going to be saying that if that's a very important thing to know when it comes to like which class you want to start with. Like, if your goal is to just beat the game like once, you're not really bothered about the speed of your farming, and maybe you're not even bothered about the farming in general, you just want to beat the game and move onwards, then it doesn't really matter what kind of class you want to start with. However, on the other hand, if you are going to be pushing for farming efficiency... Oh, I already had the lag. Okay. If you're pushing for the farming efficiency, for how fast you farm, and you want to gear up other characters, then I would personally recommend you to stick with something like a sorceress initially. And if you have Enigma, it doesn't matter.
Welcome.
You can play with whomever you want. Like, seriously, you can forget about all what I have said about classes being slow, because with Enigma you just turn each class into sorceress and you're good to go. But if you don't have it, sorceress will be able to get you some good items fast, and you can farm bosses with her pretty efficiently because you are using the teleports. My grudge with the teleport comes down to the fact that they just tied it to being like the only thing that matters when it comes to movement abilities. In other games, there are also like teleport abilities that you can use. But there are alternatives to it. And even if there is a teleport, you cannot literally just spam it. And I mean, speaking of alternatives, in this game, for example, some classes don't even have alternatives to choose from. Say, for example, Necromancer just doesn't have. Necromancer sadly doesn't have increased movement speed like a Paladin does, or a shield charge like a Paladin does. Not even a leap, which Barbarian has. He just has to rely on the good old-fashioned... I'm just gonna run there. It will take me a lot of time, but I will going to get there eventually.
I can't use this yet.
Plus, I really... Ah, yes. Yes. Something... It's something like League of Legends Talia. has this sort of ability. And I was about to say that I think that this whole despawning feature of your pets, if they cannot catch up with you, maybe in the next like quality of life changes that they might do for the game, I think it would be a good idea to just remove that feature. So that even if you don't have teleport, at least your pets will not going to despawn just because they could not catch up with you or got stuck in the open. It pains me to see such a feature. Especially when something like this, in more modern action RPG games, it just is not, like, this is not something that you're going to meet in the modern games. It kind of ruins the experience at some point. Because at some point you're just going to be fed up with the fact that, well, my character just cannot unleash its full potential unless there is this one specific piece of equipment that I'm liking. I don't expect to see a lot of changes. At this point, like the easy way for them to do things if they want to introduce quality of life features is to look at those, I don't know, like game modifications that have been introduced over the years, and to decide which one of them they actually want to place into their own game. Stackable, okay, like stackable gems, runes. Not potions, because some people were against the fact that I have read this thing on Reddit, but some people do consider the fact that stackable items will going to ruin balance of the game, because you can stack and get like 99 potions of full rejuvenation potions, and then pretty much all the fights are going to become easy mode. Okay, so you still can make stackable runes and gems and some other stuff, but okay, not potions, but still. I would personally want to see something like also something that isn't really ground-breaking or game-breaking in any way. How about something like transmogrification for items, just to make your character look good? Just to change his appearance, so to speak. Because there are some very good-looking set items that aren't that really good when it comes to stats. their stats are not that good, or they're being just blandly outclassed by some rewards. Yes, I was about to mention Shaco, because what ends up happening, like, there is this also a very good base for caster's equipment when it comes to armor, which is the Spirit Armor, which just looks like an armor that you can buy on normal difficulty Act 1. But I mean, you are at Hell difficulty, might as well just look better visually. Not like you went so far and you get the green hat on yourself, on your character, and that's it. A green hat from Act 1, an armor from Act 1, normal difficulty, while being on Hell difficulty. It's not really something good. Because I definitely like how some of the gear looks, especially when it comes to uniques and set items, but oftentimes you just cannot use them because they are not, they don't have good stats. They are lackluster in some areas that matter the most. But I would still want to use them just because they are good looking. Another one, and that's kind of controversial, but I would say that I'm on the side that wants to have those that wants to have that particular change. More stash tabs, on top of also like having stackable runes and gems. Just more stash tabs. Because, well, just a quick rundown. Me and my brother have in online mode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 characters that we are playing with. And the rest of the squadron are just mules. Mules for pretty much everything. From each piece of equipment to jewels and to things that I really wouldn't want to be present in the game. Like I think that having mules just because you have limited inventory space, and again, I was referring to this from the perspective also of well, if, as they said, that the pressure is being applied on the server because of the fact that how much players are hopping, like opening and closing games when they are like farming and transitioning between characters. But I mean, when you need to gear up, like you are in a search for equipment to gear your next character, or you want to place the items that you have found on various characters, your stash tabs, shared stash tabs, are full, and you want to sort of remove all that mess and to put those items on your mules because you want to have an empty space so that you can farm more. But what ends up happening is that you have to like go on one character, grab like 2-3 items from your stash, put those items on that character. Then you have to relog in on another one, do the same. And it's like this process is also because servers have to like constantly read all of this information that hundreds and hundreds of people are hopping between hundreds and hundreds of characters. That of course is going to apply more pressure than to simply just having the ability to sit on your one character and just on that particular one character you can move items from this to tab to this tab, from this place to that place, and so on and so forth. There is no reason to even go overboard. I think that's, say for example, like, even if you give like 20 stash tabs, that would be... And if they're also going to be like stackable runes and gems, 20 stash tabs is going to be pretty much good enough for everything. Even if you are a person who grabs every single unique and set item in the game, I think that would be good enough. That would be absolutely enough for all of your needs. And this way you can empty so many space on the servers that is just there for the sake of it being taken over by mules on which people don't play, but with whom they are logging in, creating games just to put in and out some sort of items. Like, I'm all voting for the idea of just having those extra stash tabs. Just that. Yep. They are, because it gives them so much space, so much room available. And a lot of them are still playing, say for example, in offline mode. In offline mode, from what I've heard, you can use some of the modifications, like increasing your stash tabs. I personally have not checked it myself to see whether or not it's true or not. But if it's true, that's good for them, because they have an advantage over us that are playing in online mode.
I can't use this yet.
At this point,
I can't use this yet.
it's just about the fact that that would be a good addition to have. It doesn't really break anything, doesn't really make your experience worse in any way, shape, or form. And it's something that people would appreciate. Well, a lot of players would. Offline mode, here is also like another beauty of the offline mode. The same setting of like players. Say for example, you are doing those Kurast runs, and you are going into like opening chests. You want to open chests on higher player settings because it allows you to get more rewards this way. Well, yes, it does, but at the same time, what is better in offline than it is in online? You don't have to create a room, wait for people to join, just to be able to go there and open chests with like 7 other players running around. You don't have to do that. You also can do one thing, which is by far one of the most incredible things that you can do. You can roll the map. Say, for example, you need to farm specific boss, like Mephisto. You can roll the map where the entrance is going to be in a distance of 1 or 2 steps away from the waypoint. And then you sit on this particular map that you rolled, and you can farm him efficiently, super fast, and without any care in the world. Plus, you can also add the players thing on top of that to increase your chances of getting something good. But a lot of people are just considering those who play offline. You are like you are cheating. You are not playing it fair. Only those who play in online are playing it fair. I wouldn't really say so. Like, I mean, they even consider the fact that you can set players is already like cheating. Because we, on the other hand, we have to like gather parties. We have to play with other people. And you don't even have to do any of that. Yeah, I also really don't understand that. Like, play the way you want. Doesn't matter. It's like they're triggered because of the fact that, oh, this guy is going to be able to get those items way faster than I do. I'm gonna blame him for doing so. That's really dumb. That's the same X. Same X that keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. And what I also like about the offline mode is that there is no delays. delays when and sometimes teleporting around because you're lagging or something like that. Plus, when it comes to offline versus online, I think it's only fair on the fact that, well, I can set the player's aid difficulty and farm stuff. It's going to be harder for me to kill stuff, and things are going to do more damage. But at the same time, we should not forget the fact that, well, if you are playing in offline, you don't get the possibility to trade with other people. So you are kind of compensating the fact that you don't have the ability to trade, but at the same time, you have the ability to get more loot. But it's going to be harder for you because you are going to be like going through the locations and fighting against bosses who are going to be severely harder. Like their HP is going to increase, their damage is going to increase, and that's not bad. It's balanced in a way so that everyone gets something out of it. So it's really dumb to say, like, oh, you guys are cheating. Oh, filthy cheaters. Yes, of course. Because at the point where in online someone gets a Zaten, he can sell it or trade it for a lot of valuable things, and I'm going to be sitting here, and even if I get it in the offline mode, besides like using it on something, I can't really give it to anyone, sell it to anyone, or exchange for something. I can't really do that.
Carry anymore. Impossible.
It's actually not that bad. Farming here with a summoner. Nothing really dies besides some skeletal mages, and maybe occasionally the mercenary may get hit by some cows.
I can't use this
but
yet.
overall it's fine. Speed-wise, not the best, and definitely going to increase once Enigma is going to take place someday in the future. And I wish you a good night, and thank you for being here today. It was nice chatting with you, and hopefully I will going to see you on the next stream as well. Thank you and have a good one. Meantime, we are going to farm for some more cows. Because farming cows is good. It's actually a decent place to get some good bases for your rewards. And thus far I'm also looking for one particular item. One I already managed to get, and the one that I am still looking for is the second phase blade with the 5 sockets attached to it. Because in my plans I have a barbarian whom I will going to place 2 griefs, 2 grief rewards. That's going to be a worthy investment. Because I either way want to level up pretty much every single character. Maybe not with every single build, but every single character I want to level up. And Barbarian has been on my wish list. Well, not from the start, because I have explained that the only time when I would want to level up a Barbarian is when I already have something to gear him up with. I don't really want to gear up a Barbarian if he doesn't have good items to wear. I want him to have good items. Such as double grief, such as some uniques.
Good day.
And so on and so forth.
Welcomes you.
A lot of want to get stuff. Laying hands, I don't remember if I had them. I think I didn't. Or maybe I did. Don't remember. Don't remember. This is why I'm going to stash them. And although the cow level, if you're doing it on single player, is not the best place for you to level up, it's still, if you're playing solo and if you're not doing like the players 8 difficulty or something like that, I think it's still a good place for you to go to, because even if it doesn't give you that much experience, it's still going to give you valuable goods in form of bases for your equipment and in form of items, of course. some uniques, some set items. Because do remember that in this game, pretty much all of your equipment that you can get is a random world drop, which means no specific places to drop the equipment outside some of the items. Like a torch, which you get from farming coolers, and some other stuff. I mentioned torch because that's something that comes into mind almost immediately when you're speaking about the stuff that can be farmed in a specific place. Well, it is said that Shaco has a higher drop chance in cow level. It is also said that the Shaco has a higher chance of being dropped from the Griswolds. I'd say hard for me to believe, because I got my Shaco from a random cow in the cow level. I didn't get it from those mentioned enemies like Rakanishu, Griswold, Cow King. No. My Shaco dropped from a random cow.
Yes?
Still not bad though. I'm working on that revive. I'll max it out and then I probably would want to start maxing out. How's this thing called? How's this thing called? Summon resist? Probably. Because I think I want to be able to farm bird tricks more efficiently. Because that's also like, that's also the place where I intend to go to. I've never been there, not even once. I've only seen it. I've never been there myself. So it's going to be a nice change of pace. Unfortunately, I still do not have the amount of keys that we need. Not like I farmed them. It wasn't like I farmed them to begin with. It's like, yeah, you don't have keys, but did you farm them? Oh no, I was only farming counters. Raise the cows. Raise them. Raise them back from the dead. There is also another beautiful thing about farming converse with the Necromancer is that you go here, you raise some cows, and you go and into the Uber-Tristam, and then you start beating the hell out of the bosses using those cows and your skeletons and everything. There was a choice. Let's put it simpler. There was a choice. So I had a choice between investing into summon resist, raise monster, or skeletal mage. Skeletal mage I just simply don't want. Because I I don't like them, their scalings are kind of bad. Just in general, I just don't want them. Summon resist, I thought like, okay, I'm not farming cougars right now. And without Enigma I'm not farming a very hefty places such as Bale, Throne Room, such as what else? Chaos Sanctuary. And stuff. So I don't really need resist for this particular place, for example. I really don't. It's not like there's going to be a demand for high resistance to elemental effects minions. And trace monsters. It was also a debate. It was also a debate, to put it simple, because I'm not fond of having too much of an army that I have no control of, besides like a teleport staff. And at least here I can see that my army is not being stuck anywhere, for the most part. We are fighting on open areas. Wait, it just disappeared. Wasn't how it's supposed to happen. Come on. Oh yes, since I have bested hell difficulty, and I have time while farming cows, of course, because farming cows doesn't require you to be focused that much on what you're doing. Instead, you can speak about whatever stuff that you can. I'm gonna skip, like, fast forward towards me expressing my thoughts about this particular run that I did with the Necromancer Summoner. Of course, it's not done on the fresh, like from the fresh account, it's done on the... This is already like the... my second character in only mode. This is why I had items that were used for this particular character. Okay, so this is going to be a short video for the YouTube with me expressing my thoughts about the Necromancer Summoner, with whom I have bested the Hell difficulty with. So, hello to everyone who is going to be watching this on YouTube. The name's Terrorlord here, and from the perspective of a casual Diablo 2 player, I am going to express my personal opinion about the Necromancer Summoner, who has done a walkthrough on a Hell difficulty not that long ago, literally like 20-30 minutes ago. I have finished killing Bale in Act 5 on Hell difficulty. So, let's begin. This week, in this particular segment, we are going to speak about my experience, normal, nightmare, and Hell difficulty, respectively. So those difficulties are the difficulties on which I have played with this character and that I have experience on. So that it's also going to be less of a moo sounds in the background. Let me actually lower the audio a little bit, like this. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it started on the normal difficulty. It started on the normal difficulty where I was just experiencing what it meant to become a summoner in Diablo 2, respectively. Diablo 2, being the predecessor to many action RPG games, and being the game from which I have started to enjoy the summoner class. I started to enjoy the concept of a summoner class a long time ago. It was back before I played modern action RPG games, such as Grim Dawn, such as Diablo 3, such as Path of Exile, such as many other games that I have played in the similar genre. What hooked me was the possibility, because at that time all I knew before that is that there was a Darkstone and that there was a Nox game and that there was not that many games to which I can compare the summon experience with. I've played Sacred, but that game also doesn't really count when it comes to like experiencing what playing as a summoner is. But this was my one and only experience at the time, and I was hooked by the concept. Like, you have an army, you are controlling it, you're sending it in battle, although you're not sending it, it basically just wanders on their own. They're wandering on their own, but that is something that later on I have figured out, and it made my experience significantly less summoner gameplay oriented. But at the time I didn't have stuff to compare it with, so I like the concept of the summon. Okay, fast forward into year 2021. When Diablo 2 Resurrected came by, and I have went to play as my secondary character. My first character was the Paladin, was the Hammerdin, whom I loved to play with, and with whom I am farming still up to this day in search for the Enigma. Because as you can see, there is no Enigma. So my story is going to be oriented around and especially useful to those who want to know what it is to play this particular build if you do not have Enigma rune ward still. So normal difficulty. As normal difficulty started, I was sort of in a situation where I just started to see things. Like, I've started to see how useful/useless some particular skills were, how a lot of my creatures were dying pretty fast because they were still weak, how I was bashing my head against some of the locations, especially on normal difficulty, where the TP staff until a certain point, certain level, is still not the thing. So yeah, it's definitely a experience that I wouldn't wish other people to relive, because that is a painful experience. Generally speaking, I was going slowly but surely. I wouldn't say I had the problems with the bosses, because here is the thing that I've seen on many guides where people were saying that, oh, the Necromancer Summoner actually has problems when it comes to killing bosses. because his damage is not so high, and he is getting destroyed, especially in normal difficulty, by stuff like Mephisto, Bale, Diablo especially. My shock was when I was fighting all of those bosses, like later on, it didn't really seem like it was the thing. Contradictory to that, I didn't actually have much of a problem dealing with them. Maybe because it wasn't the gear that I had possessed, because I had been using some plus to skills stuff, not something like that can be considered like going overboard when it comes to pluses to skills, but something that noticeably increased my stockpile of skeletons and made it so that my army was a little bit more sturdy. But to the sturdiness of the army we'll get once I'm going to start speaking about Nightmare and Hell difficulty. So, I was going through the normal difficulty quite efficiently, and Dariel was, I would say, was probably the toughest one, although not the hardest one, because it's like the first boss. But I managed to take her out easily, went into the Act 2, which was the act that I did not like due to the fact that, who likes Act 2? Running around, especially Maggot Slayer, especially the Sanctuary. The Sanctuary was abysmal. It was tough. It was tough to deal with because no TP staff, and the fact that you are being basically devastated by the fact that environment is working against you. This proves that some of the locations are just unbearable for certain builds due to the limitations that this game had, and due to the fact that those limitations have been transferred over through time and are still being just as bad as they were before. And so somehow I managed to crawl my way through it into Act 3, which was a piece of cake in my personal opinion. I haven't seen problems with Act 3 besides that particular moment where I've encountered a glitch, which I haven't encountered on other difficulties, which forced me to replay 3 times in order to get myself a quest item that I was looking for, the Git bin. Git bin was not dropping whatsoever, and I didn't, up till this point, I still don't know what exactly was causing the fact that it didn't drop, but it didn't drop, and it was a problem. It was a problem that I fortunately had not encountered on other difficulties, but it was what it was. And so I went through the Act 3, which overall, outside of that particular game bug, was pretty much doable. Doable without any sort of problems. I like the fact that there were a lot of small enemies, and by the time I think I already had the corpse explosion thing, which destroyed all of those small creatures. I went through the sewers quite efficiently because I managed to get to it, get to the second level of the sewers, where you can find the quest item quite efficiently as well. And so I went through it and got to the Mephisto. Council was not a problem whatsoever. The Council was, on the other hand,
Not in town.
pretty much easy mode. And went into the Hell difficulty. Hell difficulty was also a piece of cake. when it comes to getting to the Diablo himself. I was more worried about the fact that I have seen even videos. I've seen those videos that went like, oh, I have this giant army, I summoned a giant army. Diablo spawns, one-shots them in 1 or 2 spells. And I was like, what's my gameplay going to be against him? Like, use the Iron Maiden Golem strategy to kill him this way? But then the shocker was that he couldn't do anything against my army, and he died pretty fast. Like, if you watch those parts of the stream, you're going to remember those parts where I have fought him, and it was not a problem. And you probably also have seen my reaction to it. Like, I was shocked. How did that happen? And that happened, and then I was like, oh, if that's like it, then probably Bale will not going to provide me with any problems whatsoever. And yes, he didn't. It all went down to the fact that he didn't do anything against me either, and Ancients as well. And then I was like, okay, what about the Nightmare difficulty? And the Nightmare difficulty, all in all, was also something that I was surprised to see. I was surprised to see that it was even easier, despite the fact that there were some issues, especially with the fact that I was dying because I wanted to get faster through things, and there were also places where I was just already starting to sort of fuming over the fact that like my frustration with lack of my army grew. Here's the problem: like my army grew. It's like there were more skeletons. There were more skeletons, more and more, and I've started to get items with plus movement speed, just to be able to traverse ground more efficiently, which should have been a good thing, but the only problem was in the fact that it really was not a good thing, due to the fact that the faster you move, your army cannot catch up. In other action RPG games where you have probably played, you've seen that even if your army cannot catch up, they still can teleport to you without despawning. In this particular game, because it uses this weird archaic system, which I have mentioned multiple times, the game was just going to despawn most of your army. Most of your army is going to be despawned, and the same like 26 revived monsters that you see on your screen right now will going to end up in being like from 26 to 12 to 0. Like they will going to instantly despawn, and if you don't have an ability such as a teleport, well, you are kind of boned. But you might ask, well, you have a teleport staff. Well, yes, I do have a teleport staff. And yes, I've been using the teleport staff on Nightmare difficulty. However, here comes the problem. When you're switching from something like this, see, I've been using this from like level 36 and 42, so it's like Nightmare difficulty range of level range. So take a look just how much you're losing constantly. You're going to be losing like +5 to something from here, +2 to something like here, and all resistances. You're going to be like losing that only to be able to cast a teleport, which is a very noticeable downside. Plus, because you're not using like FCR on the summoner, you don't really build up that FCR, you are quite slow on the cast rate as well. So, and there is no 75% block chance, so you are kind of squishy, and you, to be able to move your army around, you need to put yourself in danger by running into those rooms face forward if you want to clear stuff fast. Here's the thing that I want to emphasize the fact that I wanted to clear stuff fast, which means move around fast, kill stuff fast, sometimes skip locations just to be able to move around faster, which was resulting in me dying in the most awkward fashion, but not in the fashion that I haven't really expected to happen. Like, I've expected those situations to happen just because I knew that, well, I'm a squishy summoner that nearly has no resistances, and even now I do not have resistances, which is the hell difficulty, and I still am sitting on this particular point, and still like wondering how exactly am I going to fix it. There are chances for me to fix it, but still. So, where was I? I was starting to build that frustration that resulted in me like going through the nightmare difficulty, although with a decent speed, but with a very bad aftertaste. Like, the aftertaste that you are going to get with this character if you do not have Enigma is going to be bizarre. It's going to be bizarre because you are going to experience 50 shades of why I don't want to play with this class, especially after I played such archetype in other action RPG games where it worked without handicaps. My only problem besides those already mentioned things on Nightmare difficulty, were the fact that when I went into something like a tower, Countess Tower, and into... what was it? Into Hell Ancients, and to be honest, into other boss battles as well, is that they weren't doing anything. Well, in the tower, I wasn't doing that much because of the fact that ghosts are having this physical resistances, which in the end like makes your experience in farming the tower on the same like hell difficulty nearly impossible, because of the fact that everything is going to be having so much physical resistances and those closed spaces and yada yada yada. That's all going to ruin you. Additionally, and I almost forgot about that, but thank God that I remember. This is your best in slot weapon, offhand weapon for Necromancer Summoner. You know what's the biggest problem about it? It gives nice stats, but what can be the problem? The 5% chance to cast... No, not this one. 10% chance to cast level 2 Bone Prison. You might be thinking, well, what's the problem? Well, if you're going to get hit in the melee range, chances are, or if you're going to be running through things to move your army forward, what will end up happening is that you are going to be left caged with the monsters inside of that prison. Your pets will not going to help you because they might be left outside of the prison. To get out of the prison, your only way to get out of the prison is to use the teleport, which is to switch to the teleport staff, which is to use the teleport and hope that you're not going to be interrupted because you don't have that much of a faster hit recovery or block chance or FCR to begin with, which is a pain. So even though this particular offhand is extremely good for summoners, it's again an item that was designed with having Enigma in mind. I think that this entire archetype was kinda designed, and here comes the point where I will going to say once again, I evaluate this class right now from the point of the perspective of the person who doesn't have Enigma yet. My assumptions about the class were going to change drastically if I will going to have Enigma, and I will going to give this class another... not the class. I'm always saying class, but it's not build, basically. My thoughts are going to change once I will going to get Enigma, because the experience is going to be entirely different. But as of right now, it is what it is. So, we are on the Hell difficulty. So I transitioned on to the Hell difficulty, and here I am, like, going into Hell difficulty. Resistances are so piss poor that I am practically dying from exploding elites that are dealing like the fire damage or like lightning damage. And I have died plenty of times in Act 1. I've died way less in Act 2, which is strange. Actually, the Act 2 was a breather on the Hell difficulty. I didn't have that much problems there whatsoever. And so I went through the first act, second act. Act 3 was also not really that much of a problem. Then I went into Act 4, and I've encountered lightning spirits. Ugh. Which I even forgot that they are present in Act 4 as well, in the location where you need to find Izuo. And so I've encountered 2 packs of elite ghosts. They killed me. I believe I tried 3 to 4 times to retrieve my body. It was not successful whatsoever. So, like, it was a complete waste of money and time. So I went and re-rolled in the map. Luckily, the second time I logged in the game, the spirits were not there. So it was all in all good. I got to the Diablo, killed Diablo, again, no problems. He killed like 1 skeletal mage and died. Then comes Act 5, everything is overall good. Well, initially I was frustrated over the fact that Race Monster doesn't give more stats to your pets, no matter how many points you put in it. The only thing that increases here are the amount of monsters. Their life, their damage, their duration is going to stay the same always. So no matter how many points you're going to put in that skill, it's going to stay always the same, which means that there is no such thing that can be considered variety when it comes to like how, like, what exactly changes if I put like more than 20 points. Well, I'm just gonna get more monsters. They are not going to be sturdier, they are not going to be doing more damage, there's just going to be more of them. What happens if I put more points into summon resists? Well, they are going to be sturdier against elemental effects, with only one particular problem, that this thing doesn't matter. There is only one monster, which against whom it may matter, which I really do not know. Maybe they're bugged or something. But on your way to farming Nilatok, sometimes you may encounter snakes that are throwing like the poison spear-ish sort of projectile. That thing, I don't know what is it, because regular poison doesn't really kill your stuff that fast, but those snakes are just, they can one-shot packs of your skeletons and the mercenary in like 1 or 2 seconds. I don't necessarily know what's the problem here, especially when it comes to a mercenary who has like 63%. That's like not that much, but not that bad either. But I mean, he was still dying in split second there, among with other skeletons. Outside of that, I don't think that, unless you're farming Kubers, which I still have not, like, I don't have experience to even say that it is needed. Maybe it's not even needed, but I think it's needed because Mephisto has the conviction aura, which cuts resistances. So maybe for Mephisto you need to max out the summon resist. This, as it was useless since the beginning, the more points you put, the more useless it gets, because you are wasting time. You're wasting time on trying to make something that doesn't scale whatsoever. It's entirely useless to even try. Putting points into Golem Mastery, Clay Golem, where the Golem is there not to do damage. The Golem is there to provide the slow effect. Hence, this is why Clay Golem is on the higher value versus all other golems. It's just the only golem that matters, because it slows enemies by minus 51%. That's a freaking lot. So I was in this situation. I had like 3 skills to choose from. Either this, and this. And to be honest, because I was frustrated so much over the fact that you just have no control over your army in this game. You just have no, unless you have a teleport, and you have no control. And your army constantly despawns. So I didn't want to level this thing, I didn't want to level this thing, and this thing. But I ended up leveling Revive anyway. So I was at the point where I needed to make a decision. I mean, decision had to be made. And I was going with Revive. Fast forward through Ariat Plateau into the Frozen River, where I died a lot trying to retrieve my body from the lightning spirits. They were... See, here's the point. Because there is no pet attack command with which I can like sort of push my army forward, so they will going to soak like the first attacks, so that spirits will going to be attacking them first, while I'm going to like run a little bit to the side and avoid the projectiles. What ended up happening is that I run off screen, bunch of lightning bolts are flying into my face. I die. That's basically it. I've tried it like 6 or 7 times to retrieve the body, and it was not successful. But then on the next stream, which is today, I have managed to get the map without them, and it was a piece of cake. And then I went into like killing whatever was remaining, like new attack. Oh yes. Highlight of this show is going to be me dying to the delayed corpse explosion, which never happened. It even shocked one of my viewers, who was mentioning the fact that he also never has seen such a thing, because Neil attack was already dead. Yet I was standing in one place, and after I killed the Neil attack, and I was looking at some items that there were on the ground, and I died to randomly exploding corpses. First time even seeing this, but I guess that Happens sometimes. Don't know. Maybe it's a game bug, maybe it's a feature. Don't know. If you know what it was, you can write in the comment section down below. Maybe it's just something that I don't know about this particular mechanic. But regardless. So I've killed melee attack. Ancients were quite easy, with the battle being quite strange, I would say, because the ancient who was using the whirlwind used whirlwind 3 times and then ran off to the side and was just standing there doing nothing while being attacked by 5 skeletons. Other 2 ancients were kind of fighting against the skeletons, but then the one with the jumps, with the leap strike, ignored completely all of my pets and starting to jump to me and like jump on me for whatever reason, I don't even know. He was just jumping on me constantly. And the one that was throwing, well, he was kind of lame. I didn't had problems there also because, as was mentioned by the chat, and something that I've pointed out afterwards, no iron skin, which decreases the frustration when fighting ancients. And then it was Bale Throne Room, which is a piece of cake, and then there was this Bale fight, which took a very long time. I didn't even know why it took that long time, but spent a lot of HP potions trying to kill him. It was kind of long, not hard but long. But all in all, after that comes the cow level farming, and the cow level farming is as easy as it was on Nightmare difficulty. You just need to explode some cows, and then everything is going to be okay. Like, there is not much problems. So that's kind of a long-ish rundown of how the experience was from normal to hell difficulty. And now it's time to speak about comparing this to the Paladin experience that I had. It's a no-brainer that I will going to put Paladin, my experience with the Hammerdin, higher than this build. And do understand this. My point is always going to be about like recommending something for beginners, because we are staying true to the concept of trying to like, when we are evaluating things, we are also evaluating things from the perspective of beginner player, and how this or that decision may help you or ruin your day, so to speak. And when it comes to Summoner Necromancer, understand this, like, if you are not willing to dedicate much time into farming with this particular class, if you don't want to farm with this class, if you just want to get it done once and that's it, then fine, play with it. He's going to be a semi-decent decision decision that you can make if you are searching for a class that has incredibly passive gameplay. And what I want to you to understand, you who maybe haven't played this class before and want to give him a shot. He is incredibly passive, especially if you are building him in a way where you wait for your pets to do the job for you. If you are not being thrown off by that idea as well, play with him. If you have Enigma, at this point, this is like either you are extremely lucky, which I can only congratulate you with, if you are that lucky, or if you have plenty of experience already by the time you get that Enigma going, play with this class, because it's just that much different. If you have Enigma, just forget those things that I was ranting about, not being able to control your army. Well, not all of them, because still you do not have the bat attack command. But still, if you have Enigma, he is S tier. If you do not have Enigma, and you are truly devoted into like farming bosses, gearing up other characters, find something else. Just overall recommendation, just find something else. There is going to be like a worldwide difference when it comes to like should you play with this class or should you not play this this class without Enigma, and if your goal is to farm. If your goal is to farm, I would say don't. I would personally recommend you not to spend time with this particular class, because he will not going to get you that far. Well, he can get you through the difficulties, definitely. From normal to hell, clears everything, doesn't care about most of the resistances except stone skin, physical immune. Then there is a problem. But outside of that, it's not a character that is going to compete for speed. No, definitely not. If you do understand that he just doesn't have a movement ability, not a single one. Movement speed only gets it from items. Any kind of charge move? No, he doesn't have it. Any kind of, I don't know, semi-teleport? No, only the... how is it called? Only the teleport staff. Which again, especially if you are playing this and he's going to be your first character, you're going to have problem with not having gold to recharge your teleport staff. And especially if you ran into a bad teleport situation where you're going to just die and you have to revive mercenary and you have to do this and that, your money is just going to start disappearing with the speed of light. This is not something that you want to bother with. I'm only going to, at this point, I'm only going to trash this particular build, only with the exception of saying that, well, if have Enigma, forget about it. Forget about it. He is good with Enigma. He is good. He is awesome. Can do Ubers for you. Can farm pretty much everything. The only thing that is going to be okay, the only thing that's going to be really lackluster is the fact that he's going to have FCR issues because summoners don't push for the high FCR, FCR whatsoever. Maybe on some of your items you're going to have it, but generally speaking, he just doesn't go for high FCR. He just doesn't. He doesn't even need that.
I can't carry anymore.
Well, maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. My personal opinion doesn't really matter that much. Only for you to move around. And if you want a combat skill, as was suggested today, you can use the good old poison if you want to. So, as a sort of summing it up, I hope that this was useful for you to understand, like, from where my frustration came from when I've played this class, from what my experience was going through various difficulties, where I specifically farming to increase my resistances. Spoiler, never. I even now have lackluster resistances, but it doesn't really matter because, as I said, the summoner is not the kind of character on whom this this particular thing is going to matter. It isn't. You don't have to worry about that. Especially if you are playing not like me, who killed myself multiple times because I just wanted to move faster. I just wanted to get through stuff faster. I didn't want it to sit there and wait till 2 of my skeletons were going to get rid of 15 enemies who are staying behind the doorway and can get inside like one by one. No. So just understand those particular things, and I think that you will going to also agree with me on those facts. Maybe in some aspects I was wrong, and I can't really deny that. Maybe I was too harsh when I was assessing the class value, which to me personally, like, it happens sometimes when I'm evaluating things, but overall I think that my description of the impressions that I had with this class are mostly accurate, because they are based on experience that has been recorded, that has been shown, that you can see for yourself either by rewatching those parts of the playthrough series or by leveling this class by yourself. Again, I'm saying class, but not the Necromancer class, but the Necromancer Summoner build. If you want to relive that experience, be my guest, but don't say I didn't warn you. Because, again, like, it's not an empty statement. That's when I've said that many people are going to get thrown out from this build just simply because of how it feels. It is very true. This statement is very true, and you can't really blame them. You can't really blame people. It was designed in such a fashion. So anyway, I hope this information was useful for you. If it was useful for you, share your thoughts of how you are feeling about this class. What was your first experience with this particular build? Did you like it? What are the downsides you would want this class? You would want people to know, like, okay, not... They most certainly will not going to change anything when it comes to balance-wise, because it's just a visual remaster, but what... let's put it like this. As a question of this video, which is going to be placed in the comment section down below as well. So, if a person would be playing this particular build, what would you advise him as a sort of like pay attention to this, or the minus of this build is this, and it's just some general advice, because maybe someone is going to follow someone else's footsteps and we're going to create himself a summoner, and in case that happens, what he should be looking forward to, or what he should pay attention to in the end. Anyway, that's sort of like summing up the entire YouTube video segment of the stream. So for those who will be watching that particular video on YouTube, thank you, and until we are going to meet again during one of those other videos where I'm going to be expressing. Next time it's probably going to be me expressing stuff that I have to say about my paladin experience, with whom I played. Like, my first character was hammered in here. But as if for now, thanks for watching, and until we meet next time. And now that we got that thing out of the way, we can proceed with some more cal level farming. Right now, nearly nothing has dropped when it comes down to items. Actually, I haven't even looked at almost 200% magic find. Not that much. On my paladin I have nearly 300 when I farm cows. But I mean, it's still good. It's still good to have at least some amount of magic find, because it regardless going to help you out. More chances to get something. The only downside is it doesn't affect runes. Rune drops are not being affected by the magic find, which makes it harder for you to get the runes. Runes are just something that either it drops or it doesn't drop. If it drops, it's great. If it doesn't drop, then better luck next time is the only thing that can be said. Going to increase the sound higher since I'm done with the video segment where I had to talk about different things. I'm back into the action. Initially did not pay that much attention to the fact why some people are saying that, well, once you get Enigma, it's like every class starts to play differently. Now I kind of understand what lies behind that particular statement. And that is, well, it's just that important to have this item, and it increases and sometimes like changes entirely the way how certain classes start to feel. And one of the best examples is most likely going to be, I think, besides like the Summoner Necromancer, which is obviously the one that I can say that yes, with Enigma he is going to be different. He's going to start to feel different. He's going to start to play different. But outside of that, I think that's also a Frenzy and Whirlwind Barbarian. Also, more Frenzy more so. The Paladin, seriously. Because despite the fact that the Paladin has the movement speed aura and the shield charge, he cannot... Like, if there are targets in front of him, he has to deal with them first, before actually being able to go forward. Outside of that, I think everyone starts to feel different. Just because you start to move around faster, just because you do things better. Just because the game just feels different when you do have the thing. And again, it's mostly coming down to the fact that alternatives are either not even remotely on par with where they have to be, or
Impossible.
great, or that's a big or. Those
I can't do
alternatives
that here.
do not even exist. GA. That one I didn't have. Last Paladin skills, faster block rate, increased chance of blocking. It's like a good early level stuff if you don't use rune wards. Enhanced defense is nice. The strength requirement though. Increased chance of blocking, a faster block rate. It only matters until you get to 75% block chance, which you will not going to get on level 45. Blast shield you will going to get, which is going to increase that faster block rate, I believe, to the maximum amount. The maximum resists are very nice, because that maximum resist, what it does, and why it's really good, in comparison to like having no maximum resist. Normally you cap on 75. And what is extra will going to help you out when it comes to being debuff on minor resistances and being like transitioning between difficulties. But having maximum resistances will going to push that 75 is normally your max if you do not have any increase to maximum. Add plus 15 to here and you're already going to have like 90, so your resistances are going actually Here, there you go.
I'll put that to good
Oh,
use.
no,
I'll put that to good use.
that was not a good explanation, but what ends up happening is that this stat goes higher to like 90, and this means that your overall damage that you're going to receive is going to be less, because you're not going to be capped on the 75. You're going to be at the 90, which means that the damage that you're going to be receiving is going to also go down significantly. Significantly lesser damage will be dealt to you. I'd say good. I'd say a good and valuable item for a any version of the Paladin, because it has pluses to skills, it has good stuff for your shield, and you normally run either with the second spirit, which increases your resistances, which means you get to the either Spirit of the Ancient's Pledge. With one of those in a Paladin shield, and you get fast to the maximum resistances, and you push that maximum resistances even higher, which means elemental effects won't do jack shit against you on that nightmare / early hell difficulty. Increase attack rating against demons. When I will going to level up another paladin that is going to be a melee paladin, maybe I'm going to be using that. Good thing. Nice item. I like it. Speaking of the fact that I didn't had anything useful, I finally found something useful. And yes, farming cows as a necromancer is okay. It's a very nice change of pace, because I'm usually farming them in Paladin, so I didn't even have something to compare it to. Now I have, and it feels nice. Can be faster. Hey, maybe I'm going to trap myself. Maybe not. It depends. I have 3 respecs, so I don't really care about the fact that I'm going to fuck up with stats distribution or skill distribution, because I have not invested any single point into respecs. All 3 respecs, all the difficulties are still present and are still available. I don't know, just for the sake of it, I think, even if it will going to be a completely useless attempt, I'll try to farm for some sets of keys with the sorceress, my brother's sorceress. And I will going to try to and attempt to farm Ubers. This is going to be probably going to be a very bad experience. Or maybe not. Maybe. Don't know. What scares me is the amount of HP that I have. And the resistances. That's something that I'm so afraid of. Oh, also one of the things that is not being increased, even though you increase Magic Mind, is of course the key farming.
I can't use this
It
yet.
stays the same, always.
I can't use this yet.
Always the same chance to get this, to get the keys from those bosses. And that chance is being either you get them or you don't. I think that the person, I mean, more accurate to say, the builds that can do this way easier is probably going to be the poison Necromancer. I mean, you don't even have to be much. You are just running around. You throw poison, which pierces those cows. And then they start dying. And you're just running around, waiting till they will going to die. Or until the poison is going to run off. You're just killing them. Accurate representation. You also have this corpse explosion case. I think you have the corpse explosion. I don't know, because I haven't leveled up the poison for myself. Let me get my level 80 so that I can equip a different belt, which is the Arachnid Smash. And I also think that I have reached the maximum amount of movement speed that I can have in this war. I've reached the breakpoint. Maybe. Also, speaking about this is something that I wanted to show, as I found it the previous stream, not the previous stream, I found it off stream when I was playing as a paladin and farming this place. I want to show this to you. It has to deal with the console interface. So you know that you can switch back and forth between console interface and the keyboard and mouse interface. Here is what I want to show you. And I don't know if it was actually intended by the developers. So that's your old school graphics, to which you can also switch to. See? And I open my inventory using console interface, but on the old graphics. See? This is like modern. It stays modern. But if I switch to keyboard and mouse, see? It goes into the old school. Can I also please have this as a quality of life change? I just want something like... Have it something like this. And like this when I switch to old graphics. Instead of having it like this. Because it's like... part of it stays modern. And graphics are old school. Then you go into inventory. and it's modern. But you go here, everything is old. Inventory, stats, everything. I find it... I find it strange. It's like it...
Can't use this yet.
It probably was not even intended to be like that, but ended up being like that
I
anyway.
can't use this yet.
It has no like meaning when it comes to, or no influence when it comes to, like, will adding this sort of feature going to break balance or something? No, it won't. It won't going to break balance, but it's surely going to remove that strange thing that's... Something is not like as old school as it was before. It's only partially old school. Partially it's not old school. I have 27 monsters. Jesus. Do you even need so much? What's the point of even having so many? Kaboom. I don't know what I will be doing next stream. Probably level up another character, I think. Because farming is going to... It's just that today I have decided to invest some time into farming. Just like so that this particular stream is going to be a Necromancer only sort of stream. But I will try to figure out who is going to be my next character that I will going to level up. The beauty of this game is that you can level as many characters as you can.
I can't use this
You're
yet.
not going to get bored, I think. At least initially. Nothing. Nah, it's still good. I got the Guardian Angel. Which is a good thing. Guardian Angel. By the way, without excessive farming of levels, just by getting through the game, not by...
Yes.
without farming specifically for some kind of bosses, around level 78, you can get through all difficulties.
Hello.
It's like your threshold. I don't specifically know whether or not the same experience can be applied for melee classes as well, because melee classes, they kind of need to farm sometimes to get their level sort of up to date, so they stop missing as much. Wait, I don't have keys. The keys. But regardless. It's a good thing that I have those. have those levels. I want them... What's the fun part about this is that I want them more on Necromancer than I want them on the Paladin. On some like on the Hammerdin that I have. Where is that belt? FCR, slows targets. It's definitely better than mine. +1 to all skills. There you go. And again, going through the beast gear that I have on this for this particular class, for this particular build. I don't know, I'm keep saying like the class instead of like the build instead of class. Or no, I'm saying class instead of build. But anyway, for the Necromancer Summoner, Bastion slot, also Bastion slot. This, again, if you have Enigma, remove this, put Enigma. This is Beast Gear. Ravenfrost, I don't remember. I remember Soch, Stone of Jordan, being Bastion slot. Maybe this one was also. Don't have Stone of Jordan. This is Bastion slot, and I don't have Maya's Kaleidoscope. I don't have it. So it's like I'm missing Enigma, Maya, and Stone of Jordan. And on the swap, of course, I forgot to mention about the fact that on the swap I don't have Call to Arms. Call to Arms is, of course, something that you would want to have on the swap. Which is not something that I have. Because you need runes to be able to get that thing. It's a very good weapon on the swamp because you can buff your army with it. Oh, so I have 13 skeletons, and I'm going to have 28 summons, and I will going to have 6 skeletons still. 6 skeleton mages. And of course, with plus skillers, well, not plus skillers, Maya's Kaleidoscope, that's +1 more to summon to all skills. Like, it's going to have like +2 to all skills, which is by like more than add to this +1 basically. And then Enigma gives +2 to all skills, and then Stone of Jordan +1 to all skills. That's like that's like +4 to all skills. And then a torch +3 to all skills. That's really like +7. Who needs so many? That's like, holy shit, no, that's a big army. That's a big army of skeletons and summons, and I don't even think that you need so much. Yeah, it's good to have, like, you do even need so many. And then add skillers. Yeah, that's already min-maxing. I don't even want to dive into the territory of min-maxing. Truth be told, I'll leave min-maxing to those wish to min-max. I'm personally okay with what I have. there is just only one item that I absolutely want to have. That's the only item that is going to matter for me in the long run, which is Enigma. Give me that, and we are going to get donezo. I have mentioned Enigma so many times during this particular playthrough. And it's just because it's so important to have. Last cow run for today. Oh wait, I'm pressing down the button. How many? Imagine like 30 something, 35 revived monsters. It's just crazy how many and why you need so many. People are being hooked up by the fact that, oh, I can have an army of my own. Which is by all means good. If you can control it, you can't really control it. So the more the worse. Ice head. What are you doing there? Kill him. That's so straightforward. At least when you're farming cows, you can forget about certain things. Give me the freaking chug. Or even better, give me the second barrel, so that I can remove one or change one barrel for chug, if it's possible. Ever since the start, this playthrough, I still think, and even up to now, I still think that's probably one of the best combos that you can go with. If, say, for example, you are playing with your friend, you want to play a summoner, you want your friend to help you out somehow, while also playing a pretty decent class. I don't know, like, play a Necromancer summoner plus a paladin. And you can have the paladin will be using the might aura, which is going to be significantly better than this. Class aim? he was blasting? What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? Wasn't he supposed to be with Might? Wait, how did that happen? So ever since Nightmare, I was, instead of using Might, I was using Blade. Fucking bullshit. Why? Oh, fucking. No. How? Now that's a freaking epic fail. Wait, I remember grabbing them. I remember grabbing the mercenary with Might. I remember having a mercenary with Might aura. Hey, hold on a second. Hold up a second. This is not okay. That's just a whole bunch of poop. Ow. Was I really, ever since like the second half of Nightmare, was using... That's...
I'll put that to good use.
That's so...
I'll put that to good use.
You don't even know how much...
I'll put that to good use.
How much frustration it is. No, this is not the... Didn't they have the one with Might? They had this one, right? Bless aim. Defiance. Wait. Okay, screw the call level. Let's actually go and see. Wasn't there the mercenary with Might? Or was he only on a normal difficulty? No, he was here. I am really baffled. How did it happen that all that time I was actually using the wrong mercenary? Huh.
I'll put that to good use.
I can't carry anymore.
That is strange. Thank God that
I'll put that to good
only
use.
now I have actually figured it out, that I was using the wrong one.
I'll put that to good use.
Anyway, on that particular note, we are going to wrap things up for today's stream. So, Ladies and gentlemen, with this particular character, I have managed to do a lot. I have managed to get through the hell difficulty. I have managed to do pretty much every single quest, fight with those bosses, farm the cow level, and so on and so forth. And no, this is me on the nightmare difficulty, so don't look at those resistances. They aren't the things that are real. The resistances that are real are those resistances here. But regardless, want some kind of a pair to your Necromancer Summoner when it comes to, like, if you have a buddy to play with and he wants, like, you want to have something who can support your Necromancer Summoner, make him play with a Paladin, with his Might Aura. He is going to give you a lot of stats, or with some kind of other aura, and then use the potential, increase the power of your army, and so on and so forth. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, thank you for talking with me today. I had a lot of fun. I had a good time today. I think I died, yeah, I died once during this stream with an that is going to be definitely worth of a highlight, but yeah, outside of that, I haven't died once. I managed to get myself a Guardian Angel out of going to that Tristram and then into cow level. Great. What's going to happen next on the next stream, I still don't know. We shall see. Maybe a new character. Most definitely a new character. Maybe even trying to get to some Ubers. I don't know. Just to see what is it like to go and farm those Ubers. We will see. But as of for now, thank you guys for watching. Check out our social medias, check out our YouTube channel. If you want some more videos, some highlights that my brother is doing, check our Patreon if you want to support us directly and receive perks, bonuses, content, ahead of schedule, and so on and so forth. I, from myself, am going to wish you have a great time, and until we meet again, guys, see you.